Hey, good morning, friends. It's Tuesday, June 21. Hope you are doing well. As the week has begun again, we're in the summer months now. A lot of weather, bizarre changes, things like that going on. In the world, there's great uncertainty. As we look around, if you watch the news for 5 minutes, you know that there is a lot of controversial and tense things that are being discussed and debated, and there is division, and there is anger, and there is all sorts of reminders, I guess I would say, that we are living in a world that is broken. We are living in a world that is not as God intended for it to be. But it's still a beautiful world, a world that God created and that God called good. It's also a world that God is working to redeem and restore, and we're a part of that as people of the faith, as people of Jesus followers. We are part of the process that God is going about of bringing the world back into alignment with God's original intention. We see some of that in today's psalm, which we'll be reading together. It's Psalm 45. It's a beautiful psalm in many ways, and so I want to invite you to take a moment to settle your hearts and minds, and then I'll read this psalm for us, and we'll listen together for what God might say to us in it. Psalm 45. My heart is stirred by a noble theme as I recite my verses for the King. My tongue is the pen of a skilled writer. You are the most excellent of men, and your lips have been anointed with grace, since God has blessed you forever. Gird your sword on your side, you mighty one. Clothe yourself with splendor and majesty. In your majesty ride forth victoriously in the cause of truth, humility, and justice. Let your right hand achieve awesome deeds. Let your sharp arrows pierce the hearts of the king's enemy. Let the nations fall beneath your feet. Your throne, O God, will last forever and ever. The scepter of justice will be the scepter of your kingdom. You love righteousness and hate wickedness. Therefore God, your God, has set you above your companions by anointing you with the oil of joy. All your robes are fragrant with myrrh and aloes and cassia. From palaces adorned with ivory, the music of the strings makes you glad. Daughters of kings are among your honored women. At your right hand is the royal bride in gold of Ophir. Listen, daughter, and pay careful attention. Forget your people and your father's house. Let the king be enthralled by your beauty. Honor him, for he is your Lord. The city of Tyre will come with a gift. People of wealth will seek your favor. All glorious is the princess within her chamber. Her gown is interwoven with gold. In embroidered garments she is led to the king. Her faithful companions follow her, those brought to be with her. Led in with joy and gladness, they enter the palace of the king. Your sons will take the place of your fathers. You will make them princes throughout your land. I will perpetuate your memory through all generations. Therefore the nations will praise you forever and forever. So the theme of the psalm is a wedding. It's a wedding psalm. It's a song geared toward a wedding. And one of the images, of course, that we see throughout the narrative of the Bible is the vision of God and God's people coming together in the way a bride and a groom would come together in a marriage. And so when we see these images, we can be thinking, sure, of a wedding of two people, perhaps in a church, in a surrounded by community, surrounded by the people that they come from, their friends, their family, their faith community, the whole community coming together in celebration of what God is doing in these two people's lives by bringing them together. So we see that, but it's also an image of the culmination of all things when God will bring all people to him. They will